I tried to show it all, I tried to do it all, and it was a massive mistake that I should not have done when I first started my wedding photography business. Hey, I'm Luke Cleland. I am a wedding photographer based out of Toronto, and this video is part of two little series. One is the I Wish I Never series, where I tell you things that I wish I never did in my photography business so you don't make the same mistakes. And it's part of this 5-step series of growing a business that you actually love. And the third step is, well, developing a product that you love. And the reason why it's part of both of those kind of series is because when I first developed my product, I didn't love it. But before I get into the video, if you want to take your wedding photography business to the next level, I am running a 6-week mastermind. It will take you through these 5 steps that I've been talking about in the last few videos with myself and other photographers from around the world, taking their business from where it is today and moving it to that next level, to that place where you're like, oh, I really want to shoot weddings like this. I want to run a business like this. And we're going to make that happen. And over these 6 weeks, we are going to build a clear direction and game plan for you to take your business in the right direction. If you want to learn more and apply, you can find that in the link in the description over at my website. So when I started my wedding photography business, well, I actually had no intention of starting a wedding photography business. I actually just loved photography for photography's sake. For years, it kind of really started for me, just before high school. I got a first little point and shoot Kodak Easy Share camera, and I just loved it. I loved the worlds that you could create by taking a photo. And I just did that over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, everyone knew like Luke was the one always with the camera. Luke always took like, oh, the cool pictures over there. And so when it came to university and out of university, I had a lot of friends getting married and they're like, I want Luke to take my photos. And all of a sudden I had a wedding business that started. Now that's totally awesome. Like I had no idea anyone would ever even pay me to take photos. So let alone photographing a wedding, I thought this was totally awesome. The only downside about it was that I did not intentionally build my product. I just did what people wanted me to do, which was a great way to start the business. I was very thankful for all of that. However, as the time and years went on, it became much more difficult because when you don't have a plan and you don't have a vision, it's really easy to get lost. And so while I was running my wedding photography business, I didn't dream about being a wedding photographer. So I had sports photography, I had portraits, I had some advertising photography that I really loved doing. And I didn't know how to deal with all of these interests. I wasn't primarily interested in wedding photography. I did it because I loved photographing my friend's wedding, but I didn't really love doing that. I actually would much rather do different types of photography. So in my mind, I kind of was like, well, I guess I'm getting paid for this. I'm going to put all these other interests and photography on my website so that, someone can get me for anything, right? I can do all types of photography. If you need it, I will do it for you. And I did that for a few years. And I had this internal battle and struggle because honestly, it was nice to do the wedding business and to make money and to kind of start off, my working days as like a photographer, as a little entrepreneur, but I didn't see that as the long-term game for myself. I did not want to be a wedding photographer. That was not very cool in my eyes. And so I really wanted to do all these other things. I had this realization a few years into my business that all of the interest, all of the money was coming from weddings. And so I just looked at it and I was like, okay, if I'm primarily getting income from wedding photography and I'm getting a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, it probably makes sense to get rid of everything else and be a wedding photographer. Or if I don't want to be a wedding photographer, I should get rid of the weddings and do something that I want to do. I needed to be intentional, make a plan, and go forward. That was incredibly scary. because it felt like I was taking a huge bet to just focus on one thing. Like I've never been very good at focusing on one thing. I like doing lots of different things. And so it was kind of the first time in my life I really made a big decision to narrow down on one thing, one type of photography. And what I learned through that process was that if you want to build a successful business, you need to do it purposefully. You need to do it intentionally. And it's really hard to do that accidentally. It's really hard to accidentally start a business and go forward with a vision. And it's through that whole process I learned about building pillars for myself, sitting down and thinking, okay, what kind of business do I want to build? And this is all of the previous video. If you haven't watched it, check it out. But it's having these important pillars, important values. And from there, I can build an intentional business, an intentional wedding plan and vision for myself. So one example of this was deciding on the type of style of photography that I wanted to go forward with. When I started deleting portfolio tabs off my website, when I was like, oh, sports, gone. Portraits of random people, gone. Even interior photography. What is that? What link does interior photography have with weddings? Okay, gone. I started looking at every part of my business and was like, why am I doing this? Why is this here? If I was building something from scratch, how would I do it? And how would I do it in a way that I would be excited about? One thing I realized was my editing style was all over the place. I had moody photos here. I had bright photos here. I had super contrasty photos, really high saturation, really low saturation. And it was time to go back to my pillars. What do I believe about what I'm doing here? And choose one. Now, if you followed me for any period of time, if you've looked at my website or Instagram, you would realize one thing, and that is I am very much a light and airy wedding photographer. Now, does this mean that I only love light and air? No. In fact, I was a real struggle at the beginning to get rid of certain types of photos that I took at weddings that were very moody and very dramatic. It was very hard for me to let go of those things because I realized it didn't fit in my vision. It was a competing vision to the brand that I wanted to build. It was a competing vision. So when I went through all of my pillars, at the end, I decided, you know what? It makes most sense for me how I imagine weddings as this like sacred, beautiful combining of lives and families. For me, it just made sense that okay, this needs to be light and airy. I want it to be romantic and magical because that reflected my own values of who I was as an artist and what I believed about weddings. So what I would suggest doing, and this is what I did for my own business, was sitting down and just writing out every aspect of your business. Everything from what you post on Instagram, what's on your website, how do you set up consultations? Do you do consultations? Do you not do consultations? What do you wear on a wedding day? What shoes do you wear? How long does it take for you to edit? What do you edit? What style do you edit in? You should go through everything and compare, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Does this align with what I actually believe? And if it doesn't, you can change it because everything should flow out of your pillars because that is what gives you a direction. That's what gives you a clear path. And people want to hire people. People want to be around people that have a vision, that have a path. When I was first starting, I was just everything to everyone. I was much more like the golden corral of wedding photographers. And if you don't know what the golden corral is, it's like a buffet. Okay, it's not particularly special food, but it does everything, right? And it wasn't until I really narrowed down. It wasn't until I really decided on a path and a vision and stuck to my pillars that I found real exciting growth in my business. And it helped me build a wedding photography business that I actually liked and I was really excited about. And so that's what this mastermind that I've been talking all about is. If you found yourself like I was years ago. I didn't exactly know where to go next. I wanted to like build something better that I was excited about, but I didn't know how. Come join us for 6 weeks where we're going to go through these 5 steps. We're going to deep dive into your business, into different photographers from all around the world. Every week, we're going to have a live stream to where we're going to go through each of these things so that you can set up a direction for yourself, a vision, a plan for yourself to build a business that you love. It's going to be a small group that meets every Tuesday. If you are interested, you do need to apply. You can do that on my website. Applications close at the end of this month, and it will start early next month. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you in it. If you're interested, make sure you head into the description, and there is a link there where you can find out more about it and apply. Let me know in the comments, who else out there had like 6 million things on their website and needed to go through the painful purging process. Let me know, what was the most painful thing to let go of? I think for me, like letting go, I had this tab of like super creative kind of advertising shoots that I did. It was really fun. It really blended my like commercial work with my design background. I loved those shots, and it was very hard to get rid of them. It was a sad day. Maybe I'll show them sometime on the channel, but that was a hard thing to do. But it was worth it. Okay, bye.